right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Dreamhack TV. I always have to catch myself. Welcome back to Dreamhack TV. I'm Breaky CBK.
I'm Beef.
Yeah, there we go.
I always forget.
We're getting it down. We're still new to this whole thing.
I was too busy looking at my picture.
Beautiful picture down there. Anyways, we're back now. Of course, what that means, we're going to be continuing coverage here of the Dreamhack Winter 2013 event. The group stage is going to be coming at you. And obviously, after a little bit of a break here, getting things going once again, we got a fun matchup here, Beef. We got Too Much Sugar going to be taking on the Ringers. Too Much Sugar, of course, they're 1-0 coming into this matchup. Their victory over Lion Esports Club that we casted earlier. We got the Ringers. They're 1-1. They beat the Law, but they lost to Lions. If they win here, we could have some funky kind of three-way tie situation going on, which would be a lot of fun, Beef.
Yeah, it would certainly be quite interesting, Breaky, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the Ringers are going to bounce back because we, of course, got to see them initially against the Law looking pretty good. Yeah. Definitely exceeding some of our expectations, and then against Stay Green,
against the Lions.
Lions, excuse me.
Similar teams.
Yeah, very dominant teams, both of them. Not so much.
Yeah.
So now we get to see how much of tenacity, fortitude, etc. they have, and if they're going to be able to make a comeback, because in order to progress here, they're probably going to want to be bringing home a win.
Yeah, that would be pretty important here, but again, it's going to be a tough challenge. With that said, into the drafting stage, these two teams are ready to go, so let's hop in. The Law, no, not the Law. We got the Ringers taking on Too Much Sugar here. So many of these names. I guess it's Reason Gaming now. I guess it's back to Reason Gaming.
Yes, they're back to Reason Gaming now.
Was that found out?
Yeah,
so it's like a midway transition. It's like mid-tournament. It's like we got sponsored.
Yeah, I guess they just talked to Reason
we were doing
and they're like,
that good.
We're back.
Sure. Okay, so the Reason Gaming now coming at you apparently. Okay, Reason Gaming versus Too Much Sugar again. So here we are in the drafting stage, and well, we're already moving along with the picks, so let's real quickly mention the bands here. Keeper the Forest, Ophelia, Tempest, Warbeast coming out. So we don't get to see that Keeper Tempest clash, but the Ophelia Warbeast on top of it, very jungle suicide heavy to come out there. Engineer first pick into the Ravener, Hag into Glacius, and then Parasite coming out into Bubbles. But we got Reason Gaming over here. They're favoring the Glacius support. We don't see Glacius a whole lot anymore. He's kind of been dying out quite a bit for supports.
Yeah, we really don't. One of the only reasons that we normally would see the Glacius is the Glacial Imprisonment. Does work pretty well against something like Wretched Hag. And especially if they're thinking that Wretched Hag might be a suicide and then Glacius maybe babysit somebody short, one of the best ways to zone out that Suicide Hag with the Glacius. I mean, overall, she's still going to get the job done here on Glacius as well. So, it's certainly going to be interesting. But what I'm looking forward to is Parasite. Our first time at the tournament seeing Parasite come out.
True.
As he's definitely dropped off the map a little.
Yeah, he has to an extent. I mean, it's definitely one of those cases that seems like he's the second tier of bans. He'll eventually get banned out, so he's just not picked up in the first 3 picks. So, I mean, he's still known as, of course, a powerful hero and a go-to jungle option, and TMSR valuing him here, so they're going to give it on Tank Effect. And, speaking of that, too, again, obviously with TMSR, we know this team, especially we got Keizu, Haxray, Mumi, and our Slicks. Those 4 guys alone, they've been to DreamHacks before, they've been to LANs. We've been able to meet them several times. Tank Effect, we got to meet him for the first time. This guy's new to this whole experience, but obviously doing a great job against Lion Esports Club to start things off. I'm sure that's got to be a good momentum boost for him specifically. Be like, all right, so here, this is it. This is the LAN. We just beat one of the top-tier teams here. Feeling pretty good. So it seems like he's actually stepping in pretty well.
Absolutely. A big confidence boost to him and his team. And, I mean, there's no better way to start off a LAN than by beating your biggest opposition.
Yeah.
No chance. So right here, I mean, this is just going to be smooth sailing for the guys in TMSR. The guys in Reason, though, they're going to try to put up a roadblock. And while taking a look at the second set of bans here, so there's Sandwraith, CD, and then Pesky Kraken coming out right here. So, I mean, a lot of those heroes that you would normally see in the solo short role. Yeah. In fact, 4 of them right there, and still one more ban to be coming out. So Sandwraith, Corrupted, Slither, all being taken out. I mean, for the solo short, that's really like a lot of your top tier right there. Going to be interesting to see if we'll see maybe more of the duo shorts or if they'll go for something maybe like the Dampier, which is still left unbanned.
True that. I mean, Haxrin does love to play that Dampier. Now, the only thing taken away from that perhaps is the fact that they do have a Parasite jungler, and usually you prefer not to run him with a jungler hero because you want to be able to stack that jungle up for him, obviously, and go in there ASAP. So that would be the only thing maybe staying away from it. But, I mean, even still, it has been picked up in that situation and still has done fairly well. So wouldn't be out of the question. I'm eyeing that Pestilence ban coming out from Reason Gaming, actually. Slicks has been playing great Pestilence recently, on top of great Ravener, speaking of that. Obviously, that is in the hands of Reason Gaming. Scout left open, though, and they will get their hands on Scout. That's very likely going to be that Suicide Scout, in fact, already swapped to Keizu. So that means a short lane Hag. Now it's just a matter of what mid hero is going to be going with Engineer here. You got Pebbles, you got Rally. Those are two that definitely stand out so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some more options there. But outside of that, Pebbles and Rally, I mean, you got Magnus, you got maybe even some of the hooking heroes as well. Prisoner, Devo.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd love to see him.
I haven't seen Slicks. Now, again, a big part of that, though, is because he's usually on that higher latency. You know, he's not a huge hooking hero because he doesn't, he has to deal with that 250, 300 plus MS, and that's understandable. This is a LAN, obviously. He's dealing with something like 60 or 70 MS. It wouldn't be out of the question, but because he's not as practiced on him, I would think that would be maybe a little bit of a stretch for him. But yeah, that would be fun to see, actually, because that is funny to think, but Slicks is not known for playing the hooking heroes. That's true.
Nope.
When you think about it, so.
On the other side, Puppet Master coming out now, though, Breaky. So we saw Reason try to go with the Puppet last time. Architiger not having the most success with it, did get shut down very quickly by the Lions. This time, maybe a little bit different story against TMSR. We'll see.
You know, I actually got the chance to Architiger stopped me. We were getting some food here in between with our break, and I actually saw him coming back from that, and he was making the point that they really were excited for that Puppet Master pickup, but then they realized pretty quickly the lineup just wasn't built around it. The Lions Esports Club did a great job of respecting that Puppet Master pick right off the bat. They addressed it with a dual aggressive lane. And then Reason Gaming just fell apart from there. I mean, he was like, yeah, I did nothing because I couldn't do anything. And it made sense. Lions did a great job. So TMSR, they are also a team that is known to run aggressive. And actually, it wouldn't be out of the question. You see that final pick, what was the Master of Arms coming out? That's more of a Slicks kind of going back a little bit to his roots right there with that Master of Arms pick. How about that, though? Myrmidon coming out for Reason Gaming. You know what, though? I kind of wonder if they're going to be doing a tri-lane themselves, maybe leave Puppet Master and Bubbles to solo. This is going to be interesting to see.
Reason's running a tri-lane. Like, there's...
Yeah?
Okay. Confident? I mean, maybe there's a 2-2-1 possibility there, but Myrmidon simply does not get played if he's not in a tri-lane. So that's really what I'm looking at here. And if you're trying to shut down one of these heroes, then that certainly could be a possibility. But at the same time, it's like normally you go for a tri-lane because you're trying to shut down a Sandrate or a Dampier or a Puppet Master. In this situation, there's nobody that you're really going to be able to shut down because the standard lanes here for TMSR are going to be the bearded boys in the middle between Engineer and Master of Arms, your Scout Suicide, Hag Solo, and then your Parasite. You could move that into an Engineer, Master of Arms, Parasite, long lane, aggressive tri-lane. But then it's just going to be kind of weird, like Scout matching up mid against a Ravener 1v1. Like, maybe that's what's going to be happening, but there's certainly a lot of options. Nothing's locked in here.
Yeah. Looks like Tank and Fed. Just a quick restart here before moving on with this game. By the way, with that said, as always with these group stages, there's another match going on. I believe the other match, if I'm not mistaken, is Internet Gangsters versus Myth S2Y. Yeah. So Internet Gangsters playing Myth S2Y. Of course, Myth S2Y right now 0-2. In that Group A over there. They have lost to the likes of both Denial and Stay Green. So really, Myth S2Y, in a sense, they're playing for their tournament lives right there. You go 0-3, there's, I don't even know if it, I guess maybe, is it 0? I guess it probably would have to be 0% chance, of moving on. So that's basically an elimination game for them. And when you think about it also, how they traveled across the world to get here. I mean, wouldn't that be kind of, that would suck. To be frank, that would not be fun to travel all the way out here, literally all the way across the world, and unfortunately be knocked out pretty much after the first day of competition. But hey, if they lose to Internet Gangsters, it could be very, very possible. So best of luck to them, definitely. But IG, obviously, they are a hungry team themselves, and they're looking for, I believe, their first win, because I think they're just 0-1 right now with the loss of Stay Green, if I'm not mistaken. So
I was actually talking with the guys from IG while we were on our little bit of a dinner break right there, and they're definitely feeling confident, though, as well, saying, hey, Insania even said, if this was a best of 3, we would have beaten Stay Green. No problem whatsoever. Yeah. We needed one game to warm up. And he's saying that they've been more confident now since then, and that S2Y not going to be a problem whatsoever. So definitely looking forward to seeing the results between the Internet Gangsters and the guys from Thailand. Yeah. But Branky, we got our game going on right here as the Hellborn team starting to move into their own jungle. They definitely want to defend it here. And this could now be, it actually could be a Myrmidon in a pulling position. You got Papa Male that's going to be on the secondary support Myrm, and so we could be seeing that 2-2-1. It definitely would make sense to have the Ravener as well as Glacius there in the middle lane. So, I mean, you normally don't see this at all, but the role that Myrmidon's playing is one that almost any hero can fit into. You've seen Behemoths doing it. You've seen Succubus doing it. You make sure to defend your pull, and then you just pull as much as you can, get level 3, get level 4, then try to set up kills for your team.
Yeah. So going to be playing up there, but again, it is going to be the aggressive pseudo trial lane coming out here at the same time. You got Master of Arms, he's up here with Parasite, Engineer nearby. So this is going to be the aggressive play style from Too Much Sugar. And just as we were talking about, it's just like that Lions game. It's kind of different, though. I mean, obviously, the biggest difference about the Lions game was that they were running I believe, a Tempest, if I'm not mistaken, a Jungle Tempest in that game on top of the Puppet Master short lane. So this time they do have, as you're touching on, the Myrmidon here for that babysit support. He's going to be able to focus at least on trying to out-harass them a little bit. But at the same time, again, this is a very scary Engineer Master of Arms combo. Like I said, kind of going back to Slick's roots. Obviously, when he was way back on Stake Rain, he actually played this quite a bit as that carry option. And then on top of that, even with TMSR, he's played quite a bit of that more utility style of build, Master of Arms, in the mid option. So this does mean also a short lane scout is going to be coming out. But look at who's down here from the Hellborn side. We got Ravener Glacius down here. So this is also be setting up to be a 2-1-2 setup here from Recent Gaming. Not something you see too often on the competitive scene.
Yeah, it certainly is not the 2-2-1 maybe, but the 2-1-2, yeah, pretty rare. And we'll see how TMSR is actually going to adjust to this. As Wretched Hag versus Bubbles, split match there in the middle, but Glacius is already rotating up top where there seems to be some action breaky.
Yeah, Slicks is actually getting very low right here. He's going to end up using a health potion. He will be fine, but now Engineer left behind. He is going to be fine as well. Parasite charging in. I think the lead or the Hellborn team is aware of this. Leech coming out on Amir, but doesn't have that waveform just yet. He's still level 1. Puppet's hold. It's going to happen on a Parasite, but the Kexstone will connect. And Bloodlust kill coming out in favor of Slicks right there for Too Much Sugar. So good counter. Obviously good timing coming out from Tankafet on the Parasite.
Yeah, absolutely. Being in the right place at the right time. Tankafet is definitely a player that knows how to be there and support his team when they need it most. So big kills, and that was a really well-timed gank, not only for the reason of being able to set it up, but it's right before Glacius got there as well. They might have actually seen him rotating through the middle lane and said, hey, let's go for the aggression. And it's possible if they didn't, it just happened to work out that way. But Glacius rotated all the way from the bottom lane, all the way up top, and now back to the river. I mean, he's sitting on very close to 0 experience right now, as he's not really getting a whole lot done so far in this game.
Yeah, I was actually noticing that when that initiation was happening. Of course, the counter even on the Myrmidon, Glacius was definitely heading up there, but just not able to get there in time, like you said. And yeah, he's level 1, but even it's kind of funny seeing that he's been running around this whole time. But actually, Papa Male is the one that's even doing a little bit worse in terms of gold at least. Obviously, only at 59 gold per minute, but both of them are struggling to say the least in those support roles. So that start for Recent Gaming, not necessarily the best. Now, where they are shining is the Ravener at the bottom lane. Of course, definitely a favorable matchup down here to an extent, but overall, you got Master of Arms leading the way, and now 360 gold per minute. But speaking of that bottom matchup, you see how Scouts have been able to handle it, because again, Glacius really left right off the bat. So this really has been a true 1v1 lane even between Scout and Ravener. But when you break down the creep score, it's a 14-4 Ravener versus a 5-2 Scout. So Samrox has been able to box him out pretty well, and using those Storm Blades, I'm sure, to really threaten Scout and move him out of the lane constantly. But now with Glacius here especially, he's back in the lane. Oh, top lane, oh, Myrmidon trying to get away. The magic carp stun on an Engineer. It's not going to be enough. No, he is going to be fine though, actually. It didn't actually stun Engineer, but it does enough to help him get away in the process.
Yep, going to be able to get on out of there. Myrmidon going to hit the health potions, and looks like the Hellborn team going to be just fine up here. Puppet Master's farm, once again, is not amazing. He's sitting on 10-4 as Archie, and he's definitely getting what he needs up here, but going to need a little bit more space, and I don't think he's really going to get a lot more. As Parasite gets more levels, he's going to be back up here, and with, well, really looking for some revenge, looking for even more kills up there, but right now that Parasite's right next to Ravener. Going to go for the stun here in the bottom lane, just putting out a little bit of pressure. Scout's going to come over for a few auto attacks as well, but I mean, Ravener's not really in any danger.
Yeah, no kill even remotely coming close right there between the two. So Yeah, Ravener's going to be more than fine. He's, in fact, just holding his ground in the lane. He does have those boots, unlike the Scout, of course. Or he actually does, never mind. Scout does have boots, and so does Parasite, so... But again, in the end, he is more than fine. But now here comes Glacius down. He did run past that electric guy, so Scout definitely has a good idea right here, and he's actually going to throw up the Vanish before he gets cowed. Glacius is still level 1, so not even managing to get a level 2 mark. Okay, there you go. Finally hitting that. And he will be able to level up the Tundra Blast now, so that is good news for him. Looking back at the top lane, is Archie Tiger able to get something going? He's 14-5 creep score up there. So, you know, he's actually doing decent with the creep farm, but actually back to the bottom. Now Glacius, he's in trouble. There goes the silence. Will it be enough for the auto attacks? Yes, it will. The leech to finish him off right there. Again, Tankafet loves playing this Parasite and doing a great job at it.
Yeah, he certainly does. Now I'm looking at the matchup here in the middle lane. Bubbles versus Wretched Hag. And this has been a lot of damage going back and forth between these two. But Bubbles currently sitting on 20-8 as opposed to the 19-5 of Wretched Hag. So definitely pretty even. But Book is about to hit level 6, and he does have a haste bottled up. 45 seconds. Actually going to activate that haste. And he's heading up top. He says, I don't even need a count field. I'm just going to go ahead and try to set this up. But no, going to head back saying, okay, maybe I do need level 6.
Yeah,
there it is.
There you go. Gets the Kelpho now, so will he actually try to go somewhere with it, or he's just going to sit in the middle lane for now, continue to creep farm, putting in the auto attacks. Probably going to Shell Surf here. No, never mind. Just going to finish him off with the auto attacks. In the meantime, Haxrin just holding his ground, too, on that Wretched Hag. So, yeah, you look at this middle matchup. It is a slight lead for Bubbles in the end. Book on Bubbles. Seems like he's doing a pretty good job. Bottom lane, I thought there might have been more action, but no, just Ravener sitting on top of Scout as they both hit that level 6 mark. So, obviously, those level 6s are starting to appear now throughout the game, and that could definitely start being some more movement possibilities. But yeah, Bubbles hitting that level 6, I really think that's where Reason Gaming needs to take advantage, because right now, again, still looking for their first kill. They could definitely use that to try to get some, maybe even at this bottom lane, perhaps bring some dust in.
Yeah.
For the kill on the Scout.
Yeah, it's really odd to me that Book actually activated that haste. Seems like that would have been a guaranteed kill if he'd wanted to use that once he hit level 6, and he had plenty of time, but in any case, he'll maybe be trying to set something up here relatively soon. Right now, he's got a few range creeps following him around, so certainly not going to be the slippery Ninja Turtle up in the top lane. But there are 2 supports coming in right now, Breaky, and it looks like they'll go on Master of Arms here.
Oh, but Parasite nearby. He's level 6. Quick face stuck on a Myrmidon, and Myrmidon could not even cast a single thing. He got locked down. Puppet Master in the meantime, he takes the charge shot, kicks out on a Glacius. Bad Plots to finish him off, but at what cost? Bubbles coming in. Double damage to him. Kelfield is down. Can they at least get the ball on it? Connects, and down goes Wretched Hag. Bubbles using the take cover. He's going to be fine initially, but he falls shortly after. In the meantime, Puppet Show on a Parasite. Parasite not sure exactly where to go. He is going to start falling back, takes over the Archer, and he will run back. And that should be the end of that. So back and forth between the two. Hag does end up falling, while Bubbles was taken out as well.
Yeah, and I mean, what that kind of comes down to right there is not having any vision in the lane. Normally by 6 minutes, you're going to see a lane ward going down in most of these positions where you have a hard farmer. But no lane ward coming out of Reason Gaming means that Hag was able to get up there, able to blink in and drop a Bat Blast on 3 players.
Yeah.
Just like that, you're able to get kills. So even though Reason rotated their Bubbles as well as their Ravener, they come out really far behind there because they lost in terms of kills and they committed all 5 players. Meanwhile, Scout was still farming the bottom lane down there, so Keizu definitely looking pretty good himself at nearly 300 gold per minute, whereas Ravener, I mean, he's at 300 as well, but Keizu's definitely gotten a little bit more recovery than he should. Now, probably going to get even more.
Well, yeah, this is a 5-level advantage on Scout. In comes the Suns. He got the Rev Fort down. Marksman shot, though, and Glacius is like, well, this is awkward. Nothing I can do. So easy kill coming out for Scout right there in the face. And, you know, talk about Keizu playing again, in a sense, really the carry Scout here because he's that short lane, getting the farm as you're talking about. Remember against Lions, I mean, he actually carried with the Wretched Hag. He was a big factor in terms of why they were able to come through with that game. So he's been stepping up really well here for Too Much Sugar so far. And he's definitely been, I think you could say, the biggest player for them so far. So it's safe to say he's having a good Dreamhack when it comes down to it. Now, once again, you'll look back at the middle lane, though. Wretched Hag, 240 gold per minute. Ravener's here now at about 290 GPM. So Same Rock's trying to pick up some farm here in the middle. Glacius sitting nearby just in case, trying to bait him out. But I don't think Wretched Hag's going to be looking to do anything here in the near future. So that should be fine right there. But Tankafet proven to continue to be the top farmer in the game. as he's sitting around 330 gold per minute now. Guessing he's going to be going for that early codex, especially with a start like this. That's going to be a big pickup for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be huge. Getting pickoffs on heroes like the Glacius and the Myrmidon that are both so under-leveled, but, Bubbles going down there in the bottom lane, and, I mean, that's just talking, once again, the power of this Parasite and Scout. These two are very stealthy. I mean, they'll sneak up on you, and they'll just put an end to you.
Yeah, that was, obviously, again, Tankafed just roaming on over. Bubbles, by the time he realized it was just too late, Scout using that silence, really causing issues. And Bubbles really trying to make the escape, and Book did a pretty good job of that initially, but again, the end result just too much. The lockdown between that Parasite and Scout was enough for the kill. Myrmidon in the meantime in the top lane. That's an illusion. No, this is real thing. Never mind. Defensive Master's Call going to be coming out right there. He will be fine for now. Not in the end, though. Tundra Blast to finish him off, but now Glacius in a horrible spot. Sona Scream to help kill him. Weedfield in the background connects on a Hack. Hack gets the blink up. Parasite's caught behind, though. Kexon misses everyone, and Parasite should be picked off, as he will. So a 2-for-1 exchange. They only lose Glacius. Much better for recent gaming, and now they're going to push the tower, actually. So this works out pretty damn well for them. I think the numbers really caught TMSR maybe a little off guard right there. 0-5 ended up being there. Yeah,
I think it certainly did, and it probably should have ended up even worse right there for the guys from TMSR. But unfortunately, a missed ball lightning from Mr. Ravener ended up being Hag escaping. So definitely squeaking away just a little bit right there was Haxerin. But in any case, reason they still got their work cut out for them is they do have some ground to gain here on Archer Tiger. I mean, 280 gold per minute. It's certainly better than the 150 that we were looking at better, but you still need to have higher. When you've talked about successful games in the past with players like Fabelli on Puppet Master, you're talking 550 plus GPM here on Puppet Master. Very early Whispering Helm, lots of effective stacks, and that's really what this hero excels at, kind of like a Draconis. But right now, I mean, he still needs a lot more farm.
Oh yeah, and again, it starts with that Whispering Helm, kind of like we were talking about the last game, but that Whispering Helm is just more of ultimately that farming tool, especially against a very magic damage-heavy Legion team right here. In fact, speaking about that, they're going to lock down Puppet Master. The Kexon does connect, and down goes Puppet Master. It's definitely going to come at a cost, though. Slicks will fall. Bubbles porting in. He has a Kelfoot. It might be a 2-for-1. Will it be? Engineer trying to run. He takes the stun. He figured he pretty much had to. Weedfield connects. The auto attack should be enough. The Magic Carp, even if he stops, the damage is enough. So Moon Meander falls. Meanwhile, middle lane, actually, Saint Rocks gets picked off on the Ravener. So now with that kill happening, I think actually TMSR comes out on top there. It was initially maybe going to be Reason, but yeah, TMSR, I think they got the better heroes.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. That Ravener death is really big, and we saw Saint Rocks having a really strong performance in one of the games earlier, but so far, I mean, he's kind of struggling a little bit. 275 gold per minute. He was a suicide Ravener, I mean, for all intents and purposes, but still not really having the impact that he'd like to have. And, well, we'll see. On the other side, though, Papa Male has been having a pretty good impact on Myrmidon. He's been involved with 3 out of his team's 5 kills, and, well, right now it's Newy's in trouble in the middle lane.
Oh, yeah, Glacius is going to be picked off. You see Scout and Wretched Hag right on top of him, and I don't know if you guys even saw that, but don't worry, you didn't miss much. It was just simply Glacius left out in the open, and both Scout and Wretched Hag just happened to collapse on top of him. So a level 5 Glacius, 0 items. You can do the math. Pretty much Archer, or not Archer, but Newy finding himself in a tough spot and getting taken out. So the Helm of the Victim is purchased by Puppet Master. Again, that Whispering Helm obviously in the works right here. So needing to buy more time. I mean, I look back at the Ravener, you're talking about, yeah, he wasn't the suicide in a sense, you know, being in that long lane, but not really. I mean, again, even in a 1v1, him versus Scout, I think you can honestly give the favor to Ravener with those Storm Blades being so much power in that melee presence, especially being able to constantly harass him as well as box him out. So he was off to a decent start. It's just as the game has picked up, you know, hasn't really been able to work off of that. And I guess this farm has kind of slowed down because, especially Tankafed. Tankafed is 4-1-4. He's been involved in 8 of the 11 team kills. He's been very active as this game has picked up. And actually, he's looking to continue to be active, but this is going to be an awkward spot. There's the combo coming up from NG. Parasite charging in. Scout running in, but the waveform away from Papa Male, and he will be fine. Myrmidon's good at escaping.
He certainly is, and able to get out of there with the waveform. Did bait in some TPs, though, and you can see the Reason team, they're kind of all congregating around this bottom river, saying, okay, let's get these kills. So, okay, there's nobody here. So I mean, even that is a small advantage for TMSR. They bait in everybody and they TP on out, giving some free farm in other lanes, allowing Master of Arms to continue working on triple stacked Ancient. So he's just going to be using that goo. And I mean, that's one thing that MOA is very good at, is dropping the goo. But Bubbles is actually there to try to steal some right now.
Oh, in the meantime, Rabbit actually running an engine pump move. Meander was ready for the ball lighting. He easily sidestepped it. So St. Rock's not able to connect, but as you're talking about at the Ancients, the goo is down. It's Bubbles. We got Bubbles, Myrmidon, and Puppet Master all there. I'm not exactly sure who got what, but all the engines pretty much are cleared up, other than the one that Master of Arms is finishing off. In the meantime, Scout, he finds Glacius once again, but no, he cannot chase it now this time. And actually, he's going to have to turn around. But look at the Wild Hunter now coming in. He's going to find an opening. Codex burst on the Myrmidon right there. And that's an easy kill. They might get more. Glacius again, 0 items still. He has a Ward of Sight. That's it. Ravender hits the initial ball lightning, but there's no way he's going to port on top of that, as that would possibly be death for him as well. So the 2 supports get picked off. They just continue to really struggle here in this game against TMSR. And now Puppet Master, he might be at the threat of being dove on here.
Yeah, he certainly could be. They're setting it up right now, and Scout is going to go in. Puppet Master going to try to juke back out right now, but was spotted by the Archer. Here comes a couple TPs, so Puppet all of a sudden has a little bit more of an aura of safety and maybe even try to turn this one around, but nope, just going to be delivered the Whispering Helm. So 15-minute Whispering Helm and Steam Boots. I mean, it's not awful, but once again, it's certainly not where you want to be for this Puppet Master to have maximum efficacy, but he's still trying to find as much farm as he can up here. TMSR, they've definitely got the momentum advantage, the resource advantage, and the map control as well. Definitely looking quite good for them, as for a reason they've got a couple wards down, but it's all kind of in the same area here on the river and protecting the middle lane. They don't have much vision outside of that.
Yeah, you know, going back to the gold farm here on Puppet Master, I mean, it's not awful as you said, but it is kind of awful in the sense that he's a top farmer on his team. I mean, if he was having, again, like this Ravener, the Bubbles even, having a good farm, the earlier on Portal Key, being able to move around, buy more time for Puppet Master than maybe, but the fact that he is the top farmer once again, and his supporting cast, unfortunately, just is not having the best of time, is the scary part for recent gaming. And actually, it could continue to get scary here. Glacius once again may fall victim to Scout. He's sitting on top. He opens up finally. The lightning speeds apply. The auto attacks. Oh, the Puppet Shell, though. It makes him unkillable. While that Zombie's going to survive. Are you kidding me? You see the Puppet Ultimate coming out, and Scout will fall. For those that don't know what happened right there, the Puppet Show, it cannot die when that is activated. And that's exactly how Glacius lived.
Good lord. I mean, the non-lethal damage right there, Breaky.
Yeah.
You need the Slither Staff to get,
exactly.
to get the lethal damage right there, but man, that was really well played. I mean, Glacius waited the exact amount of time that he needed before turning around to freeze, and then they're able to set up the kill. So just very well done by the guys over here on Reason, and they're showing that even though they're definitely behind right now, they've still got a lot of fight in them, and if they're able to get a little bit more farm, maybe a Shroud on this Puppet Master, and then maybe something like a Portal Key on Ravener, they're going to have the tools that they need to try to buy themselves some time in this game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And again, having that Whispering Helmet is that farming tool for Puppet Master. And this is where he can start to really amplify when it comes down to it. So, by no means is Reason gaming out of this, but it does go back to TMSR. They have a 7,200 gold lead, a 6,000 experience lead. They are in the favor. Tankafed here again. He has a level 1 Codex still. The Ghost Munchers finished on top of that and actually may use it down at the bottom lane. Myrmidon once again in some trouble. Is it going to be enough? He's playing very passive here. He's hugging this tower, knowing that any little push might mean death. He pushed a little bit and it might mean death. What a face hug right there! Parasite going for a ride. And he takes over the Hell Cannon as he walks off after the kill, but that was fun.
Yeah, that certainly was. And they're actually not going to let this Hell Cannon go. Ravener's going to be coming over here, but I mean, they don't really have a lot to stop it with. Bubbles might be able to use the Shell Surf and get the cutoff, depending on which way this Hell Cannon goes, but no, he's able to get back to his team, and now they're just going to be defending the middle lane. But I tell you what, Breaky, that Myrmidon charge is definitely fun to watch.
That was pretty cool to see. The distance that not KZU, but Tankafet win right there once again. But KZU actually got credit for the kill. as the marksman shot was, of course, able to finish him off. But speaking of Keizu on Scout, he continues to be that annoying presence roaming around. He puts down an electric guy over here at the Ancient, scene about counter warding, and now he's going to block the Ancient stack attempt. That's frustrating, man, because if you're the Hellborn team right here, you're thinking, oh, they warded it, so let's try to counter ward.
Yeah.
You're not going to find a ward if you counter ward, so that's got to be pretty frustrating if you're the Hellborn team right there. In fact, I believe a ward of Rev was purchased right away. No, there's no ward of Rev, never mind, so not even going to go for it. Anyways, top tower, Haxter leads the way up there. He easily helps push it in. He has his light brand finish. He has another 700 gold already saved up, so of course that Grimoire of Power is easily on the way. And then you have Slicks. He's gotten plenty of build-up. His GPM now getting upwards of 300 gold per minute. And of course, like I said, he'd actually build that utility. Speaking of him, they're going to collapse on a Ravener right here. Wingfield comes out, but a nice sidestep from taking it initially. Ball lighting in, but here comes Rechidak for the cleanup. Myrmidon will barely survive. Kelfield a counter, so I'm going to see the Glacial Jumper from the side. Rechidak will fall right there. Parasite took the stun. He's also going to go down, and Master of Arms will get away. But Recent Gaming, I mean, that's the second time they've done it this game where they actually turn it pretty strong with the mass TPs.
Yeah, they're definitely being really good about responding. And I mean, we saw it earlier, even to just a slight feint when they were trying to get a kill near those Ancients. They brought in 4 players just like that to try to respond. And in these situations, when they're not feints, when they're actually commitments, they're actually being able to trade relatively effectively. So they're still definitely falling behind in resources, but they're not being completely dominated at this point. And as long as you're bringing home those kills, you're keeping yourself in the game right now.
Yeah.
And that's really all they're looking to do. Buy time for this Puppet Master. He's got the Whispering Helm. He's working on triple snacked Ancients and whatnot. And he's bringing the farm home eventually. If he can get that Shroud, he might have the damage he needs to help start turning these fights.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, 1,200 gold saved up, so definitely on his way to whatever that next item pickup's going to be. It is kind of the iffy place, though. It's like, yeah, he could go the Shroud for the more aggressive damage output, which I think actually might be the better choice in the end once again, or he could go the Shrunken Head route. The route of, yeah, there is obviously TMSR is playing very aggressive themselves. They got a lot of magic presence. I think being able to survive in these fights is very important as well. So that's your classic case, though. If he goes to Shrunken, it's not an extra farming tool, and then that GPM doesn't necessarily increase. He does buy the Mighty Blade, so it looks like that probably is the route he is going to be going for. So again, it's always that double-edged sword. Neither one is really, I mean, you both have their weaknesses for sure, so we'll see how they make work of this, but again, like I said, I definitely understand where he's coming from with that Shrunken Head pickup. Codex level 3 finished on Parasite, by the way, and he wants to find food at the top lane here, Beef.
Yeah, he's certainly going to find some as well. Ravener is there. Scout's going to help him out. But Glacius is over there as well, and Scout's not exactly sure if they want to open up. The Wild Hunter is ready, though. There's the face hug into the Codex. Lightning speed coming out, and Scout will get the kill, but will they turn it back around on Scout? Myrmidon going to drop the kelp, or the carp, but it's not going to be enough. Scout's got it pretty fast, Breaky.
Yeah, the Vanish, obviously. That's the great thing about the Vanish tool as well. I mean, kind of obviously like Renix's Rift Stock, where you talk so much about getting him dusted or putting the Rev Ward down. You're like, oh, well, now they can see you, so your Vanish, it's nullified. It's not really, though. It's still a great speed burst increase.
Yeah.
And that kind of showed right there with Scott easily getting away. Obviously, Energizer helps on top of that, but the Vanish speed burst is nice as well. Glacius! Well, that's just unfortunate, frankly. I mean, Znooey's just falling victim to this very bursty team here. Not only bursty, but this very just gotcha, just out of nowhere between Parasite and Scout especially. So he is falling victim. That's his 7th death now. Again, I can't blame him. I mean, it's a difficult time for him this game.
Yeah, he's certainly not working with too much. Just the red boots. Top, though, Breaky. Oh, Scout is inside of this kelp field. The wheat field gonna miss, though.
Wow.
That was really close.
I thought the dust came out, actually, but no, that was the silence that was used to silence the Hellborn team. So yeah, he was just out of the Rev Ward range. He actually did a good job of dodging the ball lightning initially. On top of that, in fact, they're going back in. They've been doing this so much recently, and now they're going to find Ravener. The burst is just absolutely insane. The final auto attack. No, the ball lightning! And he will survive. Never. Oh, the portal key disjoint. I thought for sure that was going to be the kill, but no, just a little too quick is Saint Rocks. And he's able to make the escape right there with the disjoint. So well planned on his part, actually.
Not bad.
Yeah. Meanwhile, though, Wretchedak's farming bottom.
Yeah, that's scary. Hacks are in with Freeze Farm Hag. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. definitely not something you want to be contending with. Neither is a level 4 Codex, which I believe is what Parasite just finished up right here. So he's going to be continuing to pick off heroes like this Myrmidon and the Glacius, because, I mean, Glacius, you give him a hatchet and he's running the TPS Priceless build. He's filling that role really well. So having a rather grim time with the 7 deaths still, but he's been able to contribute a little bit himself. Puppet Master is about to finish that Shrunken Head, though, Breaky, and I guess that's probably when Reason looks to try to exert some pressure, because, I mean, you got to do something, because right now they're just falling further and further behind.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to win a farming game, especially at this rate again, especially with the choice to go a Shrunken Head. You're just not going to compete with this Scout, with this Wretched Hag right here, so you definitely need to play that aggressive mark, and it starts right here, maybe. No, the kill on the bubbles initially, and now they're locking out Parasite. Will it be now? Puppet ultimate coming out. Parasite dropping David the Master's call, mitigating a lot, but not enough. He does go down, and Wretched Hag is going to choose not to chase. Meanwhile, the middle lane, actually, Myrmidon and Glacius, they're comboing to try to take out Master of Arms. They may have actually done it. Myrmidon's chasing Magikarp in 1 second. Going to use it right there. Not going to be stunned, but it doesn't matter. Here comes Ravener. And he cuts him off. Wretched Hag, though, blinking in. Does she have a Bat Blast? She does not. She already uses Sonar Screams enough, though. But now she's in trouble once again. They will get the kill on Clay. She still scouts here in the meantime. Disarm them with a Puppet Master. There's a beautiful weed fielding. Both, though, with a turnaround right there. Onto Wretched Hag. Scout, though, takes out Myrmidon. A hat trick for Keizu. And now it's him versus Puppet.
Yeah, and they're playing a little bit of Ring Around the Rosie right here. The problem is that Keizu has a Ward of Sight, so he knew exactly where Puppet Master was going, but chose not to get too involved right there. And it looks like Keizu just going to fall back into the bottom lane, actually, where Engineer's been hit by a Kelp Field, and now Scout's in some trouble. Excuse me, Scout's going to go hard right here as the marksman shot. It's not going to be enough to get the kill on Bubbles, and here comes Puppet Master. One big whiplash, and down goes Engineer. Yeah. So Reason definitely bringing home some kills. That was actually 4 right there.
I mean, Puppet Master's farm has actually jumped up quite a bit, 385 gold per minute. So again, this goes back to the idea of a Shrunken Head. Hey, it's proved to be a big pickup because this definitely helped him in these fights, these couple of skirmishes that have been taking place. And now he can transition into more of that extra farming / damage output, perhaps still that assassin shot. As I say that, though, Parasite does not want to give up. He yet again finds Glacius. Puppet Master with the lockdown. Ravener droning. Parasite might pay. In the meantime, Scout opens on the Ravener out of nowhere. Disarm comes out, and now Ravener realizing quickly he is going to fall, which he does. Puppet Master on the run. Should be fine. Bubbles coming in. Scout wants the kill. He has a double damage room. Puppet Master holding his ground with the assistant. Scout's going to barely let him know the Magikarp to finish him off, but now Puppet Master does fall in the end. The chase is too strong for too much sugar, and they're going to clean up right here. Myrmidon, the sole survivor, and they're not going to let that be the case. Genocide coming out for TMSR right there.
Yeah, Myrmidon's the sole survivor.
Never mind.
Level 4 Codex, yeah. Not going to happen right there, Breaky. So TMSR bumping their golden experience lead up to 16K, 17K, and continuing to take even more map control right now. Bound Eye purchased nice and early on by Moon Meander, so he's going to be able to really drop some deep wards. Already has some in the aggressive jungle, but now setting up for a Kongor. And I mean, TMSR's got everything that they need to start bringing this game home and try to advance into a 2-0 position.
Yeah, they're in a very, very prime spot to say the least, and obviously that would also mean they would stay on top as the #1 seed here in Group B, which, as we stressed, very, very, very important going into the second stage of this event, the bracket stage even. If you get a first place seed in your group, you get to buy that first round, and that's huge. Not only do you just guarantee yourself that much more of a prize pool, but you get to sit back and relax while 4 other teams are battling it out to try to move on to the bracket stage. So it really is a big deal, and TMSR definitely knows that. They are here to win, no doubt. So yeah, when it seemed like there's a little bit of hope there for Reason Gaming with that Puppet Master, as I talked about, the GPM was actually the highest in the game. Then all of a sudden that happens, and now you're looking at TMSR. The top 3 farmers actually belong to their side here, including the Wretched Hag, who has 2,700 gold saved up, the Token of Life picked up, and obviously much else across the board. In fact, Master Farms, he got the Portal Key initially, now he's a Blessed Orb, so a Sheep Stick going to be coming out for him. And this aggressive play, it's been fun to watch, especially with Scout and Parasite, and they just continue to keep it up, man. Scout is leading the way yet again.
Yeah, if it works for you, why let up? But Scout in that jungle is near a Ward of Revelation. He's going to back up himself a little bit here. Moon Meander's got the Ward of Rev down, and not, well, yeah, it's a little bit less than ideal, but they're going to go in right here. They do find a kill initially. Scout going to be going in on the backside as Ravener was taken out. Glacius will survive. Not anymore, actually. Sonar Scream to finish him off. Myrmidon trying to get out of there. Wheatfield catches a couple, but Parasite's already in. And Hag's coming in trying to clean it up. Sonar Screams and auto attacks going to be coming in all around. Down goes Puppet Master as well, Breaky. Just like that, double taps here for TMSR as they pick up 4.
Yeah, I think Too Much Sugar really making a statement there with that fight. I mean, it's a case of they are just so far ahead now. Reason Gaming is just doesn't stand much, if any, of a chance at this point. They're not going to be giving up just yet. But again, Too Much Sugar looking really good. The aggressive play style that they've had throughout this game has just been a lot of fun to watch. And they really have been doing a good job of keeping that up. So they're going to push this middle tower now. Our Master of Arms and Hack again. Hack still even has a token alive on top of that 4,300 gold. So 5 minutes still remaining on that token. They're by no means in any hurry to finish it up. Parasite actually even troubling, turns around. Oh, he gets that turn kill before he dies. Well, I love the trash talk in the meantime, but Tank event with the turn kill at the last second. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Not bad. I mean, big things can happen when you're a bursty Parasite with a Codex 5, Breaky.
Apparently.
Real big things can happen. Oh,
they did right there.
They certainly did. And, I mean, TMSR, like you said, they're really not going to let up off the aggression. I mean, they have no reason to. If you're this far ahead, just keep up the pressures. Keep doing what you're doing, and eventually your opponent's going to be forced to concede. But Scout going to go for an opener here. Hits the illusions as well, but there's the Wheatfield, and was not able to get the Shrunken Head off at all. So Scout stun locked, 100-0 right there. I mean, if there were a chance for Reason, it starts with picks like those. Not saying there is.
Yeah, but they needed like 20 more of those picks. But the funny thing about that was, like, Scott had no clue, but he was on top of that rev board pretty much that whole time. And he either thinks Glacius has the quickest reactions ever, or he realizes, like, oh, they probably had some vision there, which obviously, again, they do. So, yeah, he got frozen immediately as he opened. And obviously that proved to be the end of his life right there. But in the meantime, Master of Arms continuing to push out the bottom lane. Again, he's still working towards that sheep stick. He's going to fake like he's falling back, but now they jump in. They actually catch Myrmidon off to the side. Goose put down, Regidak putting in the auto attacks, and then dot damage will finish him off. So another free pick coming out. In the meantime, Engineer trying to find somebody, but just a little too far away for that keg stun, so.
Not only does Myrmidon get taken out there, but a devastating loss. The Catman champion dominated creep is down, and now Tank Effect going to be going in right there. Bubble's going to survive for now, but Lightning Speed. Oh, is Tank Effect going to go down? He is, but it looks like the Fork Lightning, and then the Bat Blast going to be coming in right there. Ravener is going to go down. Puppet Master trying to turn it around. Snowy getting a big glacial downpour, but it's not going to be enough. And with the Shrunken Head expiring, I think Puppet Master could be in some trouble. Hag gonna go up into the trees!
Oh boy, that was a mistake.
Oh, Hagserin, what are you doing?
He was faking the animation for a second right there, and then so it's definitely a case if he wasn't 100% sure if he really wanted to go or not. Then he ends up playing into some trees. But again, he does have the token alive, so he's not too worried about going low right there. In fact, he was almost probably at a point that he just wants to die, but actually Scout's gonna get caught here. Pop it ultimate. No, it's not enough actually. Scout is gonna be able to get away. The Shrunken Head's a little too much, and he does survive. So TMSR knocking on the door, but in the end, Reason Gaming is gonna hold it off. They've used a couple of buybacks. Both Ravener and Bubbles have used their buybacks. Scout using one of his buybacks, by the way. Must have been a little bit earlier on. But okay, Broadsword, Steam Staff on Puppet Master. So again, he is going towards that Assassin Shroud. He is level 17, so his damage potential is most certainly pretty damn scary. But you also have a 30,000 experience and a 25,000 gold lead here on the Legion team. And the farm across the board is just damn good for TMSR. I mean, look at Master of Farms, and this is different than what Slicks usually kind of goes for. If anything, it kind of goes a tablet on top of the portal key, and even like a sheep stick on top of that. But he's actually got the Geometer's Bane this time around to match up against the Hellborn team. So on the Geo's Bane, Brutalizer finished on Scout. And then you have Haxer Trolling. Kind of. Maybe not really. You definitely can see some use for it, definitely, but he has a portal key is obviously where I'm getting at.
Yeah, and there's some action going on right here. Scout's going to go down, and Hag and Puppet going to go head-to-head. Hag comes out on top of that one. Double damage certainly helps out a bit. There's the portal key, and the blink, maybe? No. Wrong vote. Okay.
I don't know. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen here.
I don't know, Breaky. I think they were calling a remake.
Yeah, that's like, all right, so now that the warm-up game's done, let's go ahead and play the real one, right?
Ready? Live on 3.
Live on 3. Yeah, that would be something.
Oh, man, that was always the best. You're down like 11 rounds. All right, live on 3?
Yeah. These are warm-up rounds, right?
Yeah, right?
That's how it works, right?
There you go.
Wretched Hag.
See ya.
See, it's kind of funny. My initial reaction, and I still think it's more of obviously a trollish build, but it has some. I mean, the fact that he can blink in, do his stuff, and then, you know, if he can portal key in, do his stuff, and then blink out with the hunt with the flash of darkness, I guess is pretty cool. It's only a 6-second cooldown anyway, so it's a little silly. But they feel comfortable, as they should. They are pretty damn far ahead.
A little bit.
Again, so.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, not too worried about any comebacks happening right here from our Hellborn team. So in the meantime, they'll just continue to farm away, though. The token of life, it's going to be wearing off. There you go, 1 second. So Wretched Hag, no more token of life, but not a big deal. At this rate, they might even just wait for next Kongor, and wouldn't blame them. Again, they're here to win and secure a victory, and
no reason to take risks.
Throw themselves at Reason Gaming by any means. So
absolutely not, but TMSR just going to kind of sit back. I mean, they got all the map vision that they need, and it's really just up to Reason to kind of type those 2 little letters, Breaky. Yeah. But speaking of our other matches that were going on, I actually just got word that IG and Myth did wrap up. IG taking the victory there in a relatively short match once again. So Myth falling to 0-3 now, and I do believe that means that they are eliminated from the group stage.
So that means they have to play the BYOC team that's left.
Yeah.
So yeah, even with the win there, I just don't think that it would be possible for them to be moving on. So it is definitely unfortunate to see, because again, I just feel like they came all the way across the world, and then, you know, they're out basically after 3 games. So, but hey, they put up a fight. Clearly just wasn't their day, though. Obviously, while I'm rambling on there, this game's still going on. Marabaddon is going to fall. You see Rabbit trying to get away. Yeah, that was the distance on that's pretty ridiculous, as we saw right there. But yeah, TMSR definitely just having fun with it. They're just so far ahead. The items, the levels, they all speak for themselves. And this is what happens when you're this far ahead. You can just pretty much have fun with it, chase them down, not really worry too much, and they're just going balls to the wall right here.
Yeah, they certainly are. Okay, that was a turtle at one point. Now it's just a puddle of turtle soup. But, well, Puppet Master and Glacius, they're hanging out in the well. Never mind. Okay, that's a Codex 5, and down he goes. There goes a Puppet Master as well. GG well played. They're coming out, Breaky. That's going to do it.
They're just letting them pad the stats, that's all.
That's it.
So, Too Much Sugar, obviously, they take the victory right there. And as you can see, you know, somewhat excited, I'm sure. But, you know, like we were talking about, obviously the Lions game, that was their game to really determine, you know, how they were going to do moving on here in this event. So they got that victory out of the way. They're happy with that, and now they're 2-0 on top of that. So the first place seed is theirs to lose, basically, at this point. I mean, it was pretty much that way when they beat Lions, of course. So as long as they get that, they finish out strong right here. Obviously, they still have to face the Law and then the BYOC team. Definitely games they can and, frankly, probably should win, especially with the way that they're looking. So they're looking to be in a pretty good spot for the first place seed, but anything can happen. I know Lions are sitting back there like, the Law, come on. Please do something for us.
Hanny, get the God hole. Please.
So, yeah. But, again, they're feeling good. On the other side of the spectrum, Reason Gaming, they were on a strong start. They got their victory off the bat against the Law. Speaking of them, but now they lost 2 in a row here, both the Lions and Too Much Sugar.
I mean, so that still sets them up into a position where it's possible for them to still squeak by in 3rd place. I mean, it could be more if they beat who am I even thinking about right now? BYOC, I guess, is going to be their last match. Because they're now 1-2. Yeah, so if they do beat the BYOC team, it's possible for them to squeak by in 3rd here, which does still get them into our relegation matches, our quarterfinals, and still have a chance to continue. So
that's true, very true. I mean, that's a great point. So they need to make sure to take care of their own business. You know, you can't worry about these 2 losses right here. You win the BYOC team, exactly. You're still in a fairly good spot to be moving on. So, you know, just focus on that if you're Reason Gaming, and I'm sure that they will. So, again, but with that said, Too Much Sugar, 2-0. You got Lion Esports Club at 1-1, I believe it is. And then, of course, you got the Law. I believe they're now at 0-2, if I'm not mistaken, as far as how Group B is shaping up so far. So you talked about Myth S2Y, though. 0-3, unfortunately, here for today. That does mean they are eliminated, and they're going to be going home, unfortunately, not moving on to the bracket stage. So coming all the way over here, a little bit disappointed in their mind, I'm sure, but it was a tough bracket on both sides. We talked about that. This is a tough Dreamhack winter event here. So.
And they're still going to have their match tomorrow against the BYOC team. And going to get an opportunity to at least try to bring home a win.
Exactly.
Not go home winless. And then, of course, they still get to hang out with all the other guys from Han.
Yeah.
And it's not too often that we get to see the two sides of the world get together. And, I mean, these guys have been here now 3 times. And so going to be really interested to actually see them hanging out with everybody else. And, you know, we all here because we love Han.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
And watch games. And,
it's always a great experience. I mean, we've already been having so much fun as always, and we still got 2 more whole days of this, plus the finish up today. And Beef, with that said, we still got 2 more matches that are going to be coming out. We will be doing we're going to be going a short break here no matter what. We're getting an interview set up for you guys. But then even after that, we'll be having Stay Green versus Denial Esports is going to be coming up next. That is going to be a good match. Stay Green's 2-0, Denial Esports 1-0. Oh no, Denial, are they 2-0? No, they're 1-0, right? No? They beat Myth. Okay, so yeah, they're just 1-0.
Yeah.
But obviously there's so much there. I mean, Slav versus Swinomelons, they clearly don't really like each other too much. That's going to be a fun match to watch. That really is going to be a fun match to watch. So that'll be coming up next for our next match. And then we're set to finish it off, I believe, after that with IG versus Denial. So another great matchup to go in after. We're going to be focusing on that Group A.
Trying to figure that entire group out. I mean, when you got 3 powerful teams there at the top, getting to round out the night with those 2 matches, Breaky, what a treat.
It is. What a treat indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we're going to take a short break right here. I believe we do have an interview that we're going to get set up real quickly. And then even after that, we got Stay Green versus Denial Esports. So you're tuning in to Dreamhack Winter 2013. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.